Check out this oil leak, y'all. Look. Dang. And from up top, whew, look at that. And that's the culprit right there. That is the brake vacuum pump, and it is super common to have an oil leak from there on these 2.5 5-cylinder VW engines. So in this video, I'm going to delete that pump. Now let's just get straight to it. Here's the brake vacuum pump delete kit that I bought. This is the Spulen brand here, and I got this from USP Motorsports. If you guys want to go with this kit too, I'll put the link down below in the description. Now let's just jump right into it. The first thing that I will be doing is removing the air intake box and engine cover, and to do that, I will need to move this air intake hose clamp over to the side, and then right down here, there are two plastic air hoses that I will need to disconnect. You can see there's one right there and another one right there. And then lastly, there are two Phillips screws that I will need to remove. You have one right there, and if you move over to this side, you have another one right there. So once all of those are out, you can carefully and firmly pop the engine cover up, and the engine cover slash air box should be able to come out. Remove the battery cover. Remove these two battery cables by loosening up these two 10mm nuts and pulling the cable off of the battery terminals. Remove the battery. It's held down by a battery hold down clamp and a 13mm bolt. Remove this battery side cover. Remove the battery tray. It's held in by three 10mm bolts. One right here, one right there, and one right there. Remove this 12mm nut and one, two 12mm bolt so that we can move this gear selector cable out of the way. Carefully push down these four tabs and then remove this 22mm nut. Since there is some adjustability on this shift selector plate, I marked the two bolts so that I can try my best to reposition them in the same spot. Remove these two 10mm bolts and carefully wiggle off this shift selector plate. Remove the vacuum pump cover by removing the four T27 Torx screws. Remove this little plate inside of the vacuum pump. Pull off this hose on the side of the vacuum pump. Remove the 3 T30 Torx screws that holds the vacuum pump in. You got one right here. You got another one over there. And then you got one hiding down there. Remove this 10mm bolt right here so that we can move the bracket out of the way. Now we should be able to pull out the vacuum pump. We're just going to have to wiggle it and make sure that this stud here goes into here when you pull it out. Before installing the new block-off plate, I'm going to clean the mating surfaces and the surrounding surfaces. I'm just going to use brake parts cleaner and a rag. Surface area is cleaned up, surrounding area is cleaned up. Now let's install the block-off plate. Don't forget this bracket. Bolt down this hard coolant pipe with the 10mm bolt right here onto the bracket. Remove this hose right here. Use a flathead to help on each of these ends. Out of this clip. Out of this clip. And then the harder clip down here to get to, and use a flathead. Install the new hose from the Delete Kit. Don't forget about the hose clamps. Looks like we're gonna have to remove this hose holder out of the way. It's not gonna be needed anymore. And this one too. Remove this brake booster hose. Remove this little top hose. And then remove the hose from the brake booster from this plastic hole piece right here. We are going to need to take this plastic hose off of this plastic fitting, and to do so you're going to have to carefully slice the plastic hose and then pull it off. Cut it open just like that, and now you should be able to pull a old plastic hose off. Now prep the last hose with the remaining parts from the Delete Kit. So this will go in here, hose clamp it down. This connector right here will go to this end here, and then this other end goes into the other Spulen hose, and then hose clamp it down. Last hose ready to go. Now let's get that installed. All right, the Delete Kit itself is fully installed. Now, before I put everything else back together, I'm going to clean all that as best as I can. Install the shift selected plate with the two 10mm bolts. Install the little finger washer and the large 22mm nut. Pry those little fingers on the washer back up onto the nut. Install the gear selector cable onto the gear selector plate, and then bolt it down with the washer and 12mm nut. Mount down the gear selector cable with the two 12mm bolts. Install the battery holder tray and bolt it down with the three 10mm bolts. I'm going to put the airbox/engine cover on first before putting on the battery. Just a reminder, when installing the airbox, you have this hose clamp there, the two plastic air hoses down there, and there's a 1 and 2 Phillips screw there. Insert the battery. Bolt down the battery with the battery hold down clamp and 13mm bolt. Battery side cover, battery cables, and lastly the battery box cover. All right, brake vacuum pump delete complete. Now let's take it for a test drive to make sure the brakes work. So it's been about a week and the brakes feels much better. It actually feels more natural rather than airy, if you guys know what I mean. One thing that I didn't like about the setup or the delete kit is that the hose, which is pretty thick, which is actually good, but it makes contact with the engine cover slash airbox. So short ram intake is going to be coming soon for the Mark V, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that video. Other than that, no more oil leaks from the vacuum air pump location. So if you guys have any further questions about the procedure, just comment it down below and I will try my best to help you guys out. Now, if you guys missed a video where I did a transmission fluid and filter change, make sure you guys go and check it out right here, and also subscribe to my channel right here. Thanks.